Fork to a girl. Hayley Welsh has signed a deal with Kik. 1 year in here for $30 billion. You have no books, movies, phones, consoles, nothing. Can you do it? Okay, this prop going to sound psychopathic, but listen me. You gotta get food right. I would just find something really boring, laborious and time consuming to do with my food. Like if it's a protein bar, I would smash it into really tiny bits and count them very slowly while eating. Ain't even in the room and you have already lost it, LMAO. Mark Zuckerberg's dad said he could go to Harvard or have McDonald's franchise. He took a huge gamble by choosing neither and is now worth $100 billion. The lesson here is that taking big risks is easy when you have rich parents. No words needed. FB took this down yesterday. I wonder why. Could it be Kamala was fundraising and Joe was at beach? Whilst Trump is still saying he didn't lose the election, did he lose the 2020 election? Vance, did Kamala Harris censor Americans? Whilst that is a damning non-answer. Man smashes signed Taylor Swift guitar after buying it for $4,000 at auction. As a disabled veteran, I was separated from my wife and kids for years when serving my country and never complained once. I waited in line for 2.5 years for this operation at the VA. What a shame that people across our border illegally are treated better than our vets. My imperial master sent me halfway around the world to get blown up, then refused to fix my body afterward. For some reason I'm mad at immigrants now. Judge facepalms as Colorado country clerk Tina Peters launches into hour-long speech on Trump when she's jailed for election tampering. 2 former Trump White House officials told me they had to show voter data to Trump to get him to release disaster funding to CA wildfire victims. He released it after learning that he had as many GOP supporters in Orange Co as he did in Iowa. You can't only help those in need if they voted for you. It's the most basic part of being president and this guy knows nothing about it. Wow. Fox News just reported, we are learning that Trump resorted to crime in a bid to cling to power after the 2020 election. Resorted to crime. Fox News just said that Trump is done. Dear Congress, on behalf of my fellow Florida man in great need of assistance, just send us like half of what you sent. Signed, your fellow Americans. We passed a bill on Friday that included $18.8 billion for FEMA's hurricane response. Every Florida Republican including Matt Gaetz voted no. I don't understand this economy when nursing homes are so expensive they bankrupt our grandparents, but nursing home maids need to use food banks. Daycare is so expensive it eats up one parent's entire paycheck, and yet daycare providers only make $10 per hour and need second jobs. College costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and puts students into debt for life, and yet we have thousands of professors living in their cars. Everything we need is astronomically expensive, and yet almost none of the money we pay is going towards the people actually doing the work and providing the services. Elon hit 200 million followers, so it's a good time to remind you that when his followers were audited, 72% had fewer than 10 followers, 42% had 0, 41% had never tweeted, 25% joined after he became owner, 13% only follow him. He's artificially inflating his follower count. Musk meeting Obama, left, and Trump, right, making the same weird face. European out of offices, I'm away camping for the summer, email again in September. American out of offices, I have left the office for 2 hours to undergo kidney surgery, but you can reach me on my cell anytime. When Vance says you guys weren't going to fact check. MAGA's condemning FEMA for running out of funds this hurricane season should know. 1. This has happened now 2 years in a row. 2. GOP-led House controls FEMA spending and budgeting. FEMA is short on funds because House MAGAs don't believe in climate change and don't know how to budget. I love how we didn't raise minimum wage because it would make food more expensive, but then just made the food more expensive anyways. It's wild that the hurricane response in NC is exactly like healthcare, taxes, infrastructure, and jobs, in that you have Democrats doing everything possible to help people who refuse to believe they are being helped because some dipshit billionaire is telling them it's not true. 2 dipshit billionaires. City dwellers, without the government who would fix the road. Random hillbillies in Appalachia, casually fixing roads. Random hillbillies with access to an excavator that costs $100,000 used. Have you seen Squid Game? It's this crazy show about people in debt signing up to chill each other to entertain the rich. Anyway, let's get you enlisted. Fox News. What's your reaction to Melania championing abortion rights? Trump. We spoke about it and I said you have to write what you believe. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So Trump can tell every woman what to do, but Melania gets to choose. My 14-year-old atheist daughter is sick from cancer. How can I convince her she's in this situation because she rejected God and will now burn in hell unless she repents? You should burn in hell if you ever succeed in this satanic experiment, atheist or not. She is your daughter, get her treated for God's sake. Yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done. We know you're the dumbest member of Congress. You don't have to remind us of it every day. Spotted climbing and fixing a Verizon phone tower after the national outage. Elon Musk described Diddy as good friend in private. We text a lot. Color me shocked. Aid workers, saving lives rebuilding Georgia. Trump. Hey, take some of those bricks from that destroyed building and build a tiny little wall around my podium. Finland has guns but doesn't have lootings. What else doesn't Finland have, Tim? Fox News is reporting on the unsealed documents. We are learning that former President Trump resorted to crime in a bid to cling to power after the 2020 election. We are learning that former President Trump resorted to crime. Super important to get all your friends and family to register to vote. Georgia's registration deadline is Monday. The Democrats have given us another option. You don't have to register to vote. On election day, have 10 fake names, go to 10 polling booths and vote 10 times. That's 100 votes and it's not illegal. Maybe we should work the system too. This is in fact illegal. North Idaho Senator yells go back to where you came from at Native American candidate. When your belt costs more than what you're giving hurricane victims, $770, your candidate is selling 100,000 golden watches and you are mad about a $700 belt. Trump or Vance must win. I can't handle 4 years of seeing and hearing Kamala or Wiles. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. Yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done. Ma'am, if we could control the weather, it would be raining directly on your dumb head 24/7 365. The people in Appalachia should not comply with FEMA. This is a matter of survival. Do not comply with FEMA. Imagine telling people who are suffering not to talk to FEMA, whose people are there to help. Republicans are sick. Proof that the libs are controlling the weather. A Su-35 is an American F-16 in the skies over Alaska. The same flight from a different angle. Fake footage. This is gameplay footage from the computer game DCS World. NYC will soon be giving rats birth control pills to stop reproducing. There are 3 million rats in New York City. Last night was fun, remember? Kamala Harris has been in power for the last 3.5 years. She opened the border. She cast the deciding vote on trillions in new spending. The border and affordability crisis is on her. Donald Trump, by contrast, governed with common sense. He asked whether injecting bleach into people could cure COVID. This is a case of election interference by Jack Smith. Old information that should not have been released prior to the election. There was no reason to release it. Why isn't victim McTreason baby in prison? USA is such a weird effing country. Vance's dominant debate performance shows why he's Trump's running mate. Hey NYT opinion, why would you publish a Ross Douthat column written a week ago before the debate was even finished, and therefore didn't mention that Vance wouldn't accept the results of the 2020 election? Unless we put limits on corporations buying single-family houses, 90% of us are going to end up as lifelong renters and the US will be one giant network of Pottersvilles. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt says we should go all in on building AI data centers because we are never going to meet our climate goals anyway. You could save 30% or more by switching back to Trump. Famous AI artist says he's losing millions of dollars from people stealing his work. The guy who used Midjourney to create an award-winning piece of AI art demands copyright protections. Earth will literally explode if DJT loses. Oh no, the economy. I didn't get blacklisted from Hollywood, I left because they are all p***s. Lol, shut up dollar store Thor, you left because you haven't had a job since 1996. Trump says he opposes wind energy because he thinks his TV would turn off when the wind isn't blowing. Donald Trump slammed for accusing Kamala Harris of setting him up to fall out of his chair at event. She's living rent-free in his head. What is Elon Musk's superpower? Taking a company that doesn't produce anything and still somehow reducing its value by 90%. You can't just convert a non-profit into a for-profit. That is illegal. US law allows non-profits to be converted into for-profits. If Kamala Harris is elected, they will eliminate dinner. We will only be eating breakfast and lunch. If you enjoy eating dinner, you have been warned. Get in, loser, we are going to monitor women's cycles. Half of America makes less than $35,000. Stop asking us why we are not having children. Stop asking us why we are not buying homes. Stop asking us why we can't save. Stop asking why we don't get a better job. Ask corporations why they are paying their employees low wages. Unless you have bled all over your seat in 7th grade social studies, I don't wanna hear about your issues with free funds. It's no different to providing toilet paper. I'm a male teacher. I would rather be in a school looting than have to deal with this in my classroom. Japan. We have fast cars with small engines. America. Mind-blowing that the Democratic Party is massively outspending the Republican Party in swing states. The Democrats have become the party of the rich and entitled. Just look at their donor list. And the Republicans have become the party of the people. Elon Musk's social media platform X paid a fine of $5.2 million after being banned by Brazil's Supreme Court. The ban followed accusations of spreading disinformation. However, the payment was mistakenly sent to the wrong account. Warner Bros. Declined to test Screen Joker 2 to audiences at all before the film was complete. Elon's Lex Luthor transformation is finally finished. If the masks work, why the 6 feet? If the 6 feet works, why the masks? If both work, why the lockdown? If the airbags work, then why the seatbelt? If the seatbelt works, then why the airbags? If both work, then why the brakes? Hypocrite Marjorie Taylor Greene now demanding hurricane relief funds she tried to block. Why did humans stop building wonders? We didn't. Idaho State Senator tells Native American candidate go back where you came from and forum. Vance's baby blues may have just flipped the left's most loyal demo, the gays. A Moscow farm has decided to equip its cows with VR glasses in order to relax and feel happier. A calm environment leads to an increase in milk yield, so the cows are given a VR headset displaying summer fields. This is literally the plot of The Matrix. I'm an undecided voter. Do I go with the slick eyeliner man who recites his slogans and shouts over women until they have to cut his mic, or the nice man who wants to give us healthcare? Now you aren't. You are a person who wants pampered. Vance who doesn't swear eyeliner, you he has to correct the moderators because they lied. Debate includes fact checking. Did you miss that? JD Vance is slaughtering Wiles. If real Donald Trump were to lose, he won't. His supporters will go to work tomorrow, just as we do every day. When Biden loses, his supporters will likely loot and riot. Tells you everything you need to know. Hashtag Trump 2020. Rudy Giuliani allegedly sent a text begging Michigan to overturn 2020 election, but he got the wrong number. In 2023, top CEOs were paid 290 times as much as a typical worker, in contrast to 1965 when they were paid 21 times as much as a typical worker. It's weird because stock-based pay made up approximately 70% of top CEO compensation, and corporations spent $800 billion on stock buybacks last year. I grew up on the Gulf of Mexico, been watching storms since I was a young boy. I have never seen a storm start here and go east. Do you think government is using technology to manipulate weather patterns and storms? MAGA is claiming political violence over a giant Trump statue. Conservatives are properly freaking out over a debut of a 43-foot tall statue of an Donald Trump. Put any of this shit on a burger and we going to have a problem. You tell them, buddy. Proud of you for speaking your mind. How was kindergarten today? If you 25 plus with no kids, you're the problem. Lol, whatever makes you feel better about being stuck in the house with them kids. What do JD Vance's blue eyes and Sydney Sweeney's curves have in common? America misses classic beauty and wants it back. Excuse me. Looking for, still figuring it out, 12 kids, 8 daddies. My youngest is 2 days old, so if we meeting in person, bring ya wallet. These kids like KFC. Marjorie Taylor Greene claims the lack of tax raises during Ice Age proves climate change is a hoax. Raw milk does a body good. Make America healthy again. Trump or Vance must win. I can't handle 4 years of seeing and hearing Kamala or Wiles. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. For Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral, which effectively means upsetting the far right and the far left equally. Remember that guy who paid $4,000 to smash a guitar autographed by Taylor Swift? Turns out it wasn't even her signature. The autographed guitar, which didn't have a certificate of authenticity, was not signed by Swift. It was a fake. This is how you save humanity. Are you voting to save this nation? People aren't going hungry because we cannot feed the poor. People are going hungry because we cannot satisfy the rich. I don't see how people can stay in one place for the rest of their life and not explore the world. Poverty. Do you think holding parents responsible could curb mass lootings? JD Vance's solution to curbing school lootings. We have to make the doors lock better. We have to make the doors stronger. We have got to make the windows stronger. They flagged his motorcade down. He jumped out for a quick pic with Americans. This speaks for itself. President Trump is genuine. He loves all Americans. X is going to start suspending people that are deliberately spreading fake news in order to seek engagement. Engagement farming will not be tolerated anymore. Rocks don't reflect light. Neither does the moon. The moon is not a reflector. It emits its own light. It's not rock and you cannot land on it. Now ask yourself, what else am I being lied to about? Rocks do reflect light. This election isn't just about America, it's about the future of civilization itself. A Kamala Harris win could be disastrous for civilization. That is my strong belief. House Republican posts image of JD Vance altered to make him look chiseled. Trump. The planet has actually gotten a little bit cooler recently. Climate change covers everything. It can rain, it can be dry, it can be hot, it can be cold. Climate change. I believe I really am an environmentalist. I have gotten environmental awards. Elon Musk speaks at Donald Trump rally, calls himself Dark MAGA and says election is a must-win situation. Sign our petition to support the Constitution. Also earn $47 for every person you refer to sign the petition if they are in a swing state. Goal is to get 1 million voters in swing states to show support for free speech and right to bear arms. AI artist is suing the US Copyright Office for not letting him copyright his AI images. He claims that people are blatantly and repeatedly stealing my work. Same person who used Midjourney to win an art competition a few years back. People have put up a large billboard in Butler, Pennsylvania featuring Elon Musk with the words "In Musk we trust. Let's make America great again." Cool.
Spare change. Spare change, ma'am.